Is your magic meter running low? Well, we've got a cure for you. Welcome to Disney Coast to Coast.
Hey folks, and welcome to Disney Coast to Coast, the ultimate unofficial Disney fan podcast. I'm Jeff DePauli, and in today's mini episode of Disney Coast to Coast, forgive me for the clickbaity title of Does the Great Movie Ride Still Exist? Clearly and sadly, it does not. But in Hollywood, California, there is something special that reminds me of it. Before we get to that, in case you're not familiar, the Great Movie Ride was a staple attraction at Disney's Hollywood Studios in Walt Disney World since its opening in 1989. It was a dark ride journey into the movies where you rode through some of your favorite movie moments from Singin' in the Rain, Mary Poppins, The Wizard of Oz, Casablanca, and many more. It was a much-loved attraction and personally, one of my favorites. The ride closed in 2017 to make way for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, opening this year in 2020. The facade of the ride building is a replica of the famous Hollywood Chinese Theater here in the real Hollywood. But in addition to the facade of the building reminding me of this great movie ride, the TCL Chinese Theater, as it's now called, now has a map projection show called Hollywood Lights: The Magic of Movies. Hollywood Lights: The Magic of Movies is a 3D projection mapping extravaganza that covers the entire facade of the TCL Chinese Theater. The 4-minute show plays every 20 minutes, 7 nights a week, starting at 7:30 p.m. The show features Hollywood's sumptuous and eye-catching history, including the theater's own story over 9 decades and the many iconic movies that have premiered or played there during the past 90-plus years. The TCL Chinese Theater commissioned Christie Digital, a global leader in visual and audio experiences, to create this outdoor magic. This transformation is achieved through the wonders of projection mapping, a technology that uses projected images blended to fit perfectly onto irregularly shaped surfaces to tell stories and ignite action. Equally impressive sound, unlike any other featured on Hollywood Boulevard, will accompany the nightly outdoor showstopper. Now, of course, no Disney Parks fan is unfamiliar with projection mapping as it's used all over the parks these days. In fact, map projection is currently used on the recreation of the Chinese Theater, which was the former home of the Great Movie Ride in Disney's Hollywood Studios. In addition to that similarity, the projected presentation they show in Hollywood reminds me very much of the film montage we once saw as the grand finale of the Great Movie Ride. Some of the movies featured are Mary Poppins, The Wizard of Oz, Cinderella, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and many more classic films. Since the Great Movie Ride never made its way to Disneyland Park, Disney California Adventure, the Walt Disney Studios Park in Paris, or even the proposed downtown Burbank in California location, as were all at one point discussed, I like to think that between the matching exterior of the buildings, the coast-to-coast projection mapping happening at both Walt Disney World's Chinese Theater recreation and the actual Hollywood original, plus the familiar movie montage, in some small way, the Great Movie Ride does still exist. If you're planning a trip to Disneyland, you may consider taking a ride up to Hollywood to experience this if you were a die-hard fan of the Great Movie Ride. Although this show is scheduled to run regularly, as previously mentioned, you may want to call the TCL Chinese Theater to make sure it's not down for maintenance or a movie premiere before you go out of your way. Of course, numerous Disney productions made their premieres at this theater, including Mary Poppins, and while you're visiting the theater, Disney fans will enjoy seeing the hands and footprints of some of your favorite stars, including Dick Van Dyke, Julie Andrews, Robin Williams, R2-D2, C-3PO, Harrison Ford, and many more. That's going to do it for this mini-sode of Disney Coast to Coast. Don't forget that the Season 7 premiere of DCTC will take place on Wednesday, February 5th, and don't forget that time is running out to order your Disney Coast to Coast 2020 calendar at DisneyCoastToCoast.com. Other than that, folks, have a magical day. Bye!
Thanks for listening to Disney Coast to Coast. Have a magical day.
Disney Coast to Coast is produced and hosted by Jeff DePauli. Learn more about the podcast and become a supporter at DisneyCoastToCoast.com.